Hey folks, welcome to the new video. So in the last video we sort of set the stage for the useEffect implementation that we were doing, and then we sort of defined a real life example of what it might look like, and then we defined a set of rules here in this class, right? We called it playbook for employees. You can call it whatever you want. One mistake I made in the last video was this is not valid syntax. I wanted to return an arrow function here, so this should be an arrow function. And then we let's say define let's move on with this, and let's define a function that will perform the action. Perform action when depth change. We have we'll take a reset callback for that matter. We take a reset function for that matter, and then we have what to say. And then we get the dependencies depths. This will be an array here, just so that is clear. Depths will be an array here, and if in our case it will be an array of one element, since we are using just one element, right? And then we need to, since we are tracking this is function, there is a function that should track dependencies and perform the action, right? So we need to have we need something to store the previous values so that we can compare it to the new values, right? So we have previous dependencies, and for the first iteration or whatever, like when we execute this thing, we get depth dot map. We do depth dot get. Since the main object would be of this, then when we do get, then we get we get the value of this, right? So we initialize with the getter. So that's the previous dependencies. And then for the reset function, we just have a local reset function which we will sort of keep on changing as the value changes, right? So then we have this. Then what we can directly assign it to this only. I think that should not be a big deal. Let's not do that. Let's do it later. So now we define another function called const create effect. I can't call it something else, but create effect is like, what I had in mind is create effect as in perform the action, or that's what, right? Observe and perform action. So that's basically create the effect of the action if you may. So it doesn't have any logic as such. You can call whatever you want. So we have this create effect here, and then we sort of go, and then we have the const current depths equal to, we do depth dot map, we do depth, and we do depth dot get, same as the old one. And then we sort of const have depths changed, if I can type properly. We do depths dot map, we do depths dot sum. So let's say some values of the array have changed. We do val comma I, and then we do object, just so that we consider memory references as different. I'm doing object dot is, that's how useEffect works, because normally if you have two empty arrays in dependency, it will still execute it multiple times. So that's how it works internally, since both are of different references. I'm doing sort of a similar comparison here. So we have val, and we have previous dependencies ith value. So we just sort of traverse through both and see if some values have changed there, just for that matter. And if some values have changed, have depths changed, we sort of if we have a reset function, then reset func, we do reset, not equal to, we execute that function, and then we reset the reset function if that makes sense, whatever is passed in the function, right? So then we reset function equals to reset, and the next thing we do is update the previous dependencies to the new ones. So the current dependencies after we perform the action are the previous dependencies for the next iteration. So we do prev depths equal to current depths. We can do this, but this will be sort of referencing it by memory, right? So it's passed by value, passed by reference sort of a thing. So I want to create a copy of it so that we compare both, but they are not in sort of referring to the same memory block as such, right? So I'll just do it slice so that the values are same, but it sort of is reinitialized in different part of the memory. So that's what. And then the thing we need to do is we do depth dot for each dependency we need to subscribe, and this will be the callback for the subscription, right? For every dependency that we pass, we need to subscribe to this event with this particular action, create effect or perform action or whatever. So this is this is what needs to be done, and now we define who will subscribe to it, right? So we want every dep to subscribe to it. Then what we have is dep.subscribe, let's say create effect, right? Then we also execute the function here just to boost it up, jumpstart it up, right? So then we have this function here. Now you will sort of see a pattern here. Just wait for it. We have a function perform action when devs change. We pass a callback there. The callback should return some the callback should return this console.log. This is a cleanup function resetting. Then we have this console.log performing action due to value change. That's what. Cool, that makes sense. And the reset function we are returning as a callback from here. So I think I made a mistake here. Yeah, this should not be this. I should execute this. Then I'll get return. No, it should not be reference to that. So that's another mistake I made, I think. But yeah, that's what. So we have the reset function. We have this console.log resetting, and then the next thing is an array of dependencies, whatever we call it. So we haven't defined dependencies yet, so let's define the dependencies. Dependencies. I'm sort of ending up mixing both the terminologies. I hope it's understandable. So we have the playbook for employees. We initialize the screen with 69, and we sort of, let's call it dependency since it's a single one. Dependency is the value on the screen. We initialize it with 69. So that's what. And then every time we do this dependency dot set value, let's say we set it to 420. Let's try running this just to make sure everything is working fine, or if there's any mistake as such. Okay, cool. I think we got the initial value. So everything should be good. Let's do this. Yep. So as you can see, this is sort of the first initialization, and when we change it to 420, it's executing it again. And then let's set it to 420 again and see if it executes again. Since it's the same value, it's sort of executed 3 times, which is a problem. Why is that? Let's try logging this. What did I do wrong? For every time is true, which should not be the case. Let's do every. Let's try this. There must be something else here, because it should not be true for all the cases. Deps dot this. What is going on? Is this the mistake? Could be. I am getting the value there. I'm just comparing the values. What's the damn? So it's sort of logging this whole thing, and oh, maybe now it's, yep, that was the problem. So I was comparing depths for every depth is of type. Makes sense. Yeah, so dependencies of type playbook for employees. So I should get the value here to compare, not just like compare it with whatever it is, right? So that was the problem. But why did I define this then? Yeah, never mind. So I don't need this. Since I have the previous dependencies, I can just do this also. Previous dependencies, current dependencies, then we can just do, well, since we are already getting the value here, no point doing it twice. Let's run this. Yep. So we just get once. We can also run it one time during initialization, but what I wanted to sort of demonstrate was the concept of observability and changes and everything as such, right? So this is when we trigger a change and it triggers some action. You can have some function for initial render and run it once, whatever there is, right? So I'm not doing that here. I'm just triggering the function whenever there is a change in the value. So that's what. Then let's say we do it 3-4 times, and then we have a different value here. We have an array for that matter, let's say. So what we get is 1 change, 2 change, right? These are not included since nothing changed. We are just setting the same value. Then let's try this also. Let's try setting it to another array. What will happen now? So it got executed twice since we are doing object.is, and that's how useEffect behaves. This should also happen for objects for that matter, which are sort of anything non-primitive, right? So if we do name is, let's say, Sam or something, and then we set the same value again here. Name is Sam. Yep. See, anything that is non-primitive, for that this would take, like, even if you put the same value, it will re-execute because those will be of different references, but that won't happen for primitive values as such. So even if you set it to a string, let's say Sam, for that matter, and let's do this, Sam and Sam. My bad. Yep. See, it did not execute it twice for these variables, but it executed twice for these variables. So just ignore the code that we have above, right? So let's just look at this. What can we conclude from this, right? So if we replace this with useEffect, if we replace this with useEffect, this sort of behaves in a similar manner, right? Another pattern you would see is the set value thing. So what does this look like? This is useState, as you may guess. If we sort of modify the code to, let's say, this is dependency has set value inside it, so we can easily do get and set value, and we can sort of, let's say, call the get function here, and like we can modify it to sort of look in a similar manner like React does. I might do it in the next video. Let's see. And it's not executing. It's just, we just need to get those parameters out of the class. So this can be useState, right? That's what. So this can be useState. We have get and set value. We have get and set value. If this class is called useState, then that's what useState normally does and behaves, right? So this is the useState hook. This is the Reactivity hook, which are essentially just methods we sort of discovered in this video, right? So yeah, so my point with this video was basically don't be constrained by the terminologies. Don't sort of make any framework or fundamental. You can have a similar implementation if you think from the first principles and you have the basics right and whatnot, right? So if you show this code to someone, if I just remove these dependencies as such as well, this looks like React code, but it's not even a React file. I'm running Node.js literally. If that makes sense, right? So that's about it, I think, for this video. I can sort of make another video doing this part where I break it down to sort of the functionality of use state. If I make one, it'll be the next video. If I don't, you get my point, right? So that's what. So yeah, this should be it for this video, I think. If you have any comments or if you have any suggestions, you can drop the comments. If you like this video, please share it with your friends, subscribe and all those jazz. And yeah, if you have any suggestions, feel free to reach out to me on Twitter or just drop a comment for that, right? So yeah, see you folks, bye.